about how to multiply and divide radicals. Okay? Last class we talked about how to simplify them, how to break them down. We learned how to take square roots, we learned how to take cube roots, and we learned how to take roots of higher degree, right? So now we're moving on a little bit. We're going to talk about multiplying and dividing. We have some very simple steps that go along with multiplying radicals. The first step is to multiply the coefficient. Who can tell me what a coefficient is? A number. Good. Where does that number sit? Outside the radical, out in front. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply the radicand. What's a radicand? James? The number underneath the radical. Very good. So what's underneath the radical is called the radicand. Say it. Where's the radicand? Under the radical. Good. So our third step after we multiply the coefficients and we multiply the radicands is to simplify if we can. Do not speak while I'm speaking. Okay. So number one. Let's look at this first one. First thing we're going to do is multiply the coefficients. So tell me what my coefficients are and don't yell it out. I'm going to use my new popsicle sticks and I'm going to call on somebody. I'm excited. I did? Dominic. Hi, Dominic. What are my coefficients? That's what we just talked about.
A number, right?
It is a number. What are my coefficients, Dominic? 3 and 5. Good. So the first thing I want you to do is write the coefficients in a set of parentheses, okay? All right, Dominic's done. I'm going by my sticks, so don't raise your hand. I'm going to call on you when I get to your stick. Katie, what are my radicals? Yep, square root of 6 and the square root of 2, so we're going to put those in our own set of parentheses as well. Okay, Virginia, multiply together my coefficients, please. Good. So now we have 15. Put your feet down. This isn't your house. Aaron, when I multiply my radicals, what am I actually multiplying? And what is that called? The radicand. Bacon, multiply my radicands, please. Okay, so I get the square root of 12. Good. So far we have 15 square roots of 12, right? How is this connected? By what operation? By multiplication. Okay. All right, Dylan, can I reduce the square root of 12? Yes. What are my factors of 12 that I'm going to use, Dylan? One and, okay, give me more. More? Good. All right. Miranda's not here.
So 15 added is just 15.
15 times the square root of 12. Okay. Devin. Devin, which set of factors should I choose? 4 and 3. And why, Devin? You're right. Why? Why'd you choose that one? Elise, why are we choosing 4 and 3?
They are the two that go in the swap.
What's important about 4 and 3? What are we making sure that we have? A perfect square. Which one's the perfect squares? 4 or 3?
4.
4. Good. 4 is a perfect square because the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, so we're breaking up 12. Are you guys ready? Shh. Breaking up 12. So we get square root of 4 and the square root of 3. Remember, we always put that perfect square first because we want it to be out front when we simplify. Mr. DeBrango, you need to be writing this down. All right. Nick, what's the square root of 4? 2. So what am I going to do with that 15 and that 2? Multiply. So Nico's not here. Alicia's not here. Joe, finish it out. What's my solution? 30. Square root of, there's our answer. 30 square roots of 3. Yes. Hurry up. Sign out, take the test. We're going to do lots more. This is just the first example. Okay. How do we do with that one? We're going to do a lot more examples, so you have more time here. Ashley, what does it mean to square something? Double it. Give me another way to say double it. Multiply. Yeah, multiply it by itself. Right? Okay, so I want you guys to rewrite this. DeBrango, you need to pick up your pen and write it down. Okay, so we're multiplying it by itself, right? Mike, what are my coefficients, Mike? Because we're squaring it, so it's multiplying it by itself. Mike, what are your coefficients? 2 and 2. So 2 and 2. Amber is not here. Savane, what else am I going to multiply? Square root of 3 and square root of 3. Good. Well, okay. I want you. Uh-huh. Okay, stop there. So I get 4 radical 9. Very good. Cody, what's the square root of 9? Jonica, what am I going to do with those two numbers? I went from the square root of 9 to 3. Now what am I going to do with these two numbers? Multiply them. What am I going to get? That is your answer. Nice job. All right, now number 3 looks a little bit different, right? Who do I seem to be missing? A coefficient. Good. So, Bacon. What's the coefficient if nothing's written? 1. Very good. So I want everybody to try. Why don't you go ahead and do the next 4. Am I missing any? Your number 3 is different. I have number 5. Square root of 3 times the square root of 3, right? Okay, so I want you guys to do the next 4 problems. And we'll go over them in just a minute, okay? So go ahead, take your time. I want you to show me the steps, how you're breaking them apart, what you're multiplying, all right? So go ahead and do those. Okay, Amber, what are my coefficients? 3 and good. So I multiply my coefficients first. So what's 3 times 1? 3. Good. So that's the first half of it. We multiply our coefficients. Stop talking to Bringo. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply what? 6 and 3. And what do you get when you multiply 6 and 3, Elise? 18. All right, so this is our first and second step. We multiply the coefficients, we multiply the radicals. Can we get that far? Yeah. Okay, so then the next step is to reduce. You can't do anything with that 3, so you just bring it down. What are we reducing? The radical 18. What's your question, Virginia?
So the numbers outside of the little box things, we put them first, then you multiply what's in the box thing together?
Correct.
And
then we reduce.
Oh.
Okay. All right, Jenica, give me 2 numbers that multiply to be 18. Okay. Give me 2 more. 2 and 9. Right? All right, so, Devin, am I going to choose 6 and 3 or 2 and 9? Elise, why? Okay. So we're taking square root of 18 and we're breaking it down. 9 and 2. Everybody should be doing this along with us. Okay? Dylan. Now what? No, that would bring us back to 18. What am I doing?
You're gonna find the what goes into 9, which is 3.
Yeah. Now what we're doing is we're looking at our perfect squares. Right? We broke down 18 to two numbers, one of which was a perfect square. Okay? So, Ashley, what am I doing? How'd you get the 3? What's the square root of 9? 3. So that's where we get the other 3 from. So the next step is we simplify it further. We break down that square root of 9. Okay? Break it down from 18 to 9 and 2. Then we take the square root of 9 because we know it's a perfect square. It's 3. Can't do anything with the square root of 2, so we just bring it down. We keep the 3 from where we started at the beginning. Then you would, but you can't. Right. Mike, what am I doing with these two numbers out front? And what do I get? Zavane, what should I do with that square root of 2? Where should I put it? I'm going to put it right after that 9. Okay? That is my answer. I would like you, everybody, this one, everybody should have probably already done, right? Square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is square root of 9. And what's that equal? Okay. So I want you to try number 5 without me. Okay? You're doing one problem. When you are done, you are putting your pencils down so that I know that you are done. And then we're going over as a class. Okay? Here we go. Bacon. Multiply them together for me, please. 35. Keep going. 35.
I think it's better if you go step by step.
Okay, so we all should have gotten this far. This is just multiplying, right? Nick, give me factors of 24, please. Yep. 12, yep. What? 8 and 3. And 1 and 24, right? Okay, Noelle, what factors am I going to use? 6 and 4. Good, because 4 is our biggest perfect square that we have, right? So what we're doing is we're keeping that 35 out front, and we're breaking down that 24 using 6 and 4. Okay, now, we can't break down any further. So, Joe, what's my next step? No, that's going to bring us back to our 24. Uh-huh. Square root of 4 turns into, and does this change?
You just gotta always divide that.
Not divide, you're taking the square root. Square root of 4 is 2. Okay? All right, so now we have this. Virginia. So now I'm connected all by multiplication, correct? 35 times 2. 70. So our answer is 70 square roots of 6.
Is it one where you have to do both of them? Like,
Reduce both.
all of just the first one.
Okay. How did we do? How many people got this right? Okay, so number 6. Number 6 is a little bit different, right? It's got a fraction. Who remembers how to put a fraction into their calculator? Yes. Okay, so the fraction was 2/3, right? If I need to put that into my calculator, I have to put what around it, Zavain? Good, Virginia, thank you. So what was the fraction again? 2/3. And I'm multiplying that by times 9. And we get, so those are our coefficients, okay? So go ahead and I want you to work out the rest of this problem, please. No decimals, no. No, you shouldn't, no. Yes, you can. We already did the coefficients, Virginia. Now you're just dealing with 24 times 3. Put that right in your calculator and then reduce, okay? Cody, can you go right quick? Real quick, go ahead. Cody, how am I going to break down 72, Cody? You want to use 9 and 8? All right, we can use 9 and 8.
No, I got 36 and 2.
You meant 36 and 2. We could do it either way, but 36 and 2 would be easier. Now, why would 36 and 2 be easier than 9 and 8? Yeah. We'll do both ways so everybody sees, okay? All right, so, Katie, what is the square root of 36? 6. Good. So I'm going to change this square root of 36 to 6. Dominic, what's my last step here, honey? What am I going to do with these numbers? What's the operation? How are they all connected? So what am I going to do with 6 and 6? What does that equal? Good. So my answer is 36 square roots of 2. Okay. For those of you that did it using 9 and 8, you could do it that way as well. It's just going to require another step. All right. So from here, pardon me, we get 6 and 3, and then 8. Now we can break down 8 again. What does 8 break down to? 1, 2. We would have to do another step. Okay? So we get 18 times 2 times 2 will give us 36 radical 2. So either way works. It's just another step if you don't choose the largest perfect square. Okay? All right. Aaron, multiply them out for me, please. 20 square roots of 36. Good. Katie, what's the square root of 36? 6. Katie, when I take the square root of something, do I keep the square root sign or do I get rid of it? Joe, help her out. Do I keep it or get rid of it after I take the square root? I get rid of it. So I'm just left with 6. A lot of you made this harder than you needed to. Nick, last step. And what do we get? Good. There's your answer. 120. All right, so division. The steps for division are exactly the same as multiplication, but instead of multiplying, we are dividing. So we divide the coefficients, we divide the radicands, and then we simplify if we can. Okay, so it's the same steps, we're just using division. What I like to do, because I think it's easier to see, is to take these division problems and turn them into fractions first. Okay, because we know a fraction is just division. So what I'm going to have you guys do is I want you to rewrite 8 square roots of 48 divided by 4 square roots of 2. I want you to rewrite it so that it's easier for you guys to see. All right, Noel, what are my coefficients here? 8 and 4. So what's 8 divided by 4, Noel? 2. All right, so we divided our coefficients, 8 and 4. All right. Yep, we're doing division now. Bacon, please divide square root of 48 and square root of 2 for me. The square root of 24, correct? Okay. Good, so we did our first 2 steps. We divided coefficients, we divided the radicals. Now we're moving on to simplifying. if we can. We're simplifying the square root of 24. So, equals not here. Dylan, what are the factors of 24 you think I should use to simplify it? Okay, give me more factors. More? Okay. Virginia, I want you to pick the factor that I should use. Which set should I use? 6 and 4. And why did you pick that, Virginia? 4 is a perfect square. Very good. All right, so they multiply to be 24. Okay, so we're breaking down. We're going to use 4 and 6. Remember, we're breaking them apart. Are you guys writing this down? All right, Mike. I would suggest it. Mike, what's the square root of 4, Mike? 2. When I take the square root of 4, do I keep the radical sign or do I get rid of it? Very good. Ashley, finish it up for me, please. Perfect. There's your answer. Okay, I want you to try the next one. When you're done, put your pencil down so I know you're done, and we'll go over it as a class. Let's have, who's my next stick? Devin. Devin, I'm going to set it up. Divide it out. What do you get? The square root of 36, right? Okay, Amber, what's the square root of 36? Is that your answer? Yes. Yes, it is. Was that easy? You gave me 6 and 2. Well, no. Okay. Has anybody done number 3 yet? All right, I want everybody to do number 3 and 4, and when you're done, put your pencils down and we'll go over them. Okay, so number 3, Dominic. I'm going to write it out, Dominic. Dominic, divide it out for me, please. Yeah? 4 radical 16. Sylvain, what's the square root of 16? 4. Cody, what do I do with those two numbers? So what's my answer? 16. How many people got that right? Okay, do you guys have number 4 done?
Yeah.
Some of you do, some of you don't. Okay. I'm going to write it out. Let's talk about this one. This one's a little bit different because there's something to it that I'm hoping you guys caught on to. You have 3 over 6. Is 3 over 6 the same thing as 6 over 3? No. What's 3 divided by 6? It's 1/2. Right? 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by, you would still do 3 divided by 6, so it would still be 1/2. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, with this one is I'm going to keep that 2 down there because we know that it's 1/2. Right? Okay, so what's 54 divided by 3? Okay, so we have this. We have the square root of 18 over 2. All right? So now I need to break down that 18. So, Jenica, my factors of 18, honey. Okay? Okay? That's good. Which set should I use? Joe? 2 and 9. Why 2 and 9? Got to have the perfect square. Okay, so 9 and 2 over 2. We keep that 2 in the denominator. Okay? Katie. What's the square root of 9, Katie? 3. How are these two things connected in the numerator? By what operation? Are you Katie? Hmm? Okay, so is there anything else we can do here? No, that's it. So we leave it alone. That is your answer. Okay? All right, I want you to try 5 and 6, please. Go ahead and try 5 and 6. Okay, so 7 square roots of 3 over 3 square roots of 3. This should have been very, 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 very quick because, Dylan, what happens to my square root of 3's? You are not Dylan. Shh. Dylan, what happens? You cross them out. Thank you, Dylan. And you're left with what? Because they simplified it will be 1. You're left with 7 over 3, so that is your answer. Okay? Good, I'm glad. Congratulations. Okay, Ashley, divide this out for me, please. Uh-huh. Now, don't forget when you divide, hey, stop talking while I'm talking. It's rude. When you divide radical 20 by radical 5, you get back a radical 4. Don't lose that radical sign, okay? Yep. All right, Jenica, finish this up for me, please. What am I going to do with that radical 4, honey? To what? Good. All right, Cody, what's my answer? How'd you get it?
Multiply 4 by 2, baby. See, you do it.
See, but the problem is when he takes his final exam, you're not going to be able to tell him how to do it. Okay. Now, I want to look at number 7 as a class, okay? I want to look at number 7 as a class. Now, the square root of 3/4. Square root of 3/4. Now, when you have the square root of a fraction, it's the same thing as saying the square root of the numerator over the square root of the denominator. That's the same thing, okay? Can I do anything with the square root of 3? No, so we're going to leave it, the square root of 3 in the numerator. Yeah. They'll get weirder. I know. Square root of 4 is 2. So this is your answer, okay? I want you to try number 8 for me, please. Okay. So square root of 24 divided by square root of 3 is the same thing as this. So, Aaron, 24 divided by 3. Amber, how am I going to break down the square root of 8? Square root of 4 and the square root of 2. Good. Mike. Mike, finish this for me, please. What's my answer? 2 square roots of 2. How many people got that right? Very good. Okay. Next one. This should have been easy. These are the easy ones. Nick, please tell me my answer. Shh. Noel. 6 over 7. Why? Okay, good. So please stop. All you're doing is breaking it up. A radical in the numerator, a radical in the denominator. You should have gotten 6/7. Okay? All right, Devin. I'm going to rewrite it like this so it's easier for you to see. What's the square root of 16?
You're asking me?
No? Put in your calculator. That's why we have them, honey. Square root of 16. 4. Okay, now stop talking, please. Sabine, can I do anything with the square root of 5? No, so I'm going to leave it there. Joe, what am I going to do with that 4?
Break it down.
Nope. The 4, do I get rid of it? I got to keep it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other part.
We're going to go there. Hold on. Stop talking. We're getting there. Dylan. Okay, so now we have this. 4 times the square root of 5 over 4. Who has an idea of what happens to those 4s? Elise?
They cross out.
They cross out. And what's my answer?
Radical 5.
Radical 5. Because it's this. Then they cancel.
No, the 4 and the 4 cancel out because why?
Because 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you would get 4 radical 5 over 4, then the 4's cancel. Okay? 4 divided by 4 is 1. Square root of 5, yeah. Okay, homework is page 619, 13 through 20, 36 through 39. That is due next class. You have a quiz next class on what we've learned, simplifying, multiplying, and dividing. Okay? Your midterm is January 21st or 22nd, depending on what day you have me. And your weekly project is due next class as well. So what I'd like you to do now is stand up, put your calculators away, and then sit back down in your original seat.